What's up, little biscuits and sun-dried tomatoes? This is Medium Popcorn with another video from an Africa Roundtable. Medium Popcorn hosts Brandon and Tatiana had the opportunity to interview director Ryan Coogler and the cast of his new film Sinners, including Michael B. Jordan. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page for future reviews and celebrity interviews. Special thanks as always to Africa for this opportunity. Now here's our interview with the cast and director of Sinners. Hey, everybody. Brandon Collins from Medium Popcorn Podcast. My question is for all of you. I love to hear about people who are at the top of their game and how they problem solve. So can each of you tell me, without spoilers, about the hardest day on set and how you push through it? And I'm going to start with Mr. Caton.
Oh, man. Toughest day on set.
Tell me about your hardest day on set, but don't tell me nothing about the movie.
All right.
I want you to figure that out. Let's do it.
I don't think I can do it, but I can say one of the toughest portion of the film was probably like some of the night shoots. Man, it was a lot of elements. We shot the film in New Orleans, and it was a lot of elements, the heat, but we was all in it together, so it kind of made it fun.
I feel like the hardest day was probably my last scene. Not my last scene. I shot my last scene in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think just kind of encompassing all of the emotion and love and grief and hope and truth of the scene. It was just a hard day to kind of balance it all whilst keeping the story in the forefront, because emotionally there's a lot to balance in there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And Mr. Jordan, since you had dual roles?
Every day. It was a challenge. I would say it's tough because Smoke and Stack both had their own extreme challenges, what I'm saying, with in their own way throughout the movie. So I mean, yeah, I think any days where it was twin work when both of the brothers were in the same scene was pretty tough, just because of the amount of times I had to do the scene, and the margin for error was so small when it came to like blocking or timing, and there's a lot of elements that had to be just perfect in order for it to work. So I think overall the twin days were probably the most challenging for sure.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Coogler.
Man, bro, I would say the hardest day I had on set was, have you seen the movie, bro?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So there's a scene early in the movie where the Smokestack twins are driving the Model T, and Sammy's in the back seat, and they drive to a rural road, and they park the car and jump out and go into a hideout. And like, bro, like the way we had to shoot the repeat passes on the car with the with the twin work, and I had an incredible visual effects team, and Michael Rowler, our visual effects supervisor, and James Alexander, our visual effects producer. We were all trying to figure this technology out. You know what I mean? And we developed a new way of doing this work with repeat passes, and I was trained to be right next to the camera. That was how I learned how to be a filmmaker. And anytime when I'm separated from the camera, it becomes very difficult for me. Like, I don't like being out of monitor while the camera is close to the actors. It puts me on my back foot. But I had to be like this on this twin work, because I had to see the image of the past that was done before, and they do it in a layering effect, so that people look like ghosts. You know what I'm saying? Like in the actual image. And on one shot, bro, they fucked up the layering effect where they doubled it. And so the car came down the road, and then like 8 different mics jumped out of the car. and I swear, bro, my eyes went like this, bro. Like, cause like my whole brain shut down, like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And here's the other thing. Like, I'm making a twin movie. But and I love identical twins. I got a bunch of them in my family. I'm good with identical twins, but I have a doppelganger phobia. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good with identical twins, but doppelgangers will literally paralyze me with fear. You know what I'm saying? So they produced like 3 pairs of doppelgangers, literally, bro, like on separate timing. You know what I'm saying? So like all of these, it was like the Kendrick Super Bowl thing. Like hella people got out the car, bro. I was just Model T, and I just like shut down for 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And nobody knew why I was freaking out, except for Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, that was definitely my most difficult day on set, I would say.
All right. Well, I was not expecting that. Thank you all so much. Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Tatiana with Medium Popcorn Podcast. And one of my favorite scenes of this movie actually includes everyone right now. And it was the fighting scene. So my question is
Which fighting scene? There are a few of them.
True. And I don't want to spoil it for our
okay, got it.
But the big one.
Okay.
The big one surrounding the juke joint. And so I particularly wanted to know, had you had any training prior to the movie that assisted you? And if not, what steps did you take to make that scene come to fruition?
Listen, I just want to start by saying it did not have to end like that.
Come on, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it was peaceful, it was jovial, and then I'm not going to say too much, but there's a Molotov cocktail gets launched, and what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? You know, Lily, I'm looking at you.
Well, you know, without me, there would be no movie.
Wow.
There would be no third act.
That's a fact, actually.
Because, you know, it would have never hit the fan.
I'm going to ask you a question, young lady. Yes, I've had stage combat in my actor training. That was your question, right?
Yes.
Have you had? Yes. So yes, I had stage combat, fighting combat.
And did you find that
Training.
did you find that it helped you for this, or was this a particular style you
No,
wanted?
it did help. It did help, and also when I was younger, I took a lot of dance classes, and you know, fight either in the theater or on screen is choreographed. So all of that training helped with this work in this film.
Yeah.
The fighting.
I had to train how to throw a fireball. That was terrifying. But I was all right.
Yes, it was
That was
all right.
okay.
It's better than all right. Yeah.
My favorite
Try
was
being on the receiving end.
my favorite was picking up a weapon and being told by the arms people that I'm not doing it right, but keep it because that is realistic for Perlene. And I said, "Oh, thank you."
Jamie.
Shit sandwich.
Yeah.
3 o'clock. The square next to
In the pink,
in
that's
the
Jamie?
pink, that's Jamie. That's what I said.
Delroy, now.
Like you don't understand, Jamie. You don't understand how small the box is right now.
I didn't know that
The
was
box
you,
is
Jamie.
tiny. He just heard your voice. That's how he knew.
I had no idea. I'm sorry, Jamie. I didn't know who this chick was. So who is that?
This is crazy.
She's
You would
talking all
think
this
we
stuff.
didn't do a movie together, like, at all.
Jamie, I apologize.
The box is small.
We're taking up these guys' time.
Yeah, we're
I'm
taking the
sorry.
time. Sorry,
Go
they
ahead.
didn't come for this. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear all that.
You didn't want to hear that. Oh, that's your man.
We're not gonna get through.
Stop it.
Let them
Please,
speak.
let the journalists speak.
This is funny as fuck.
We have a good time together, y'all, and hopefully it shows in the film. To bring it back as professionals, hopefully it shows in the film centers because the cast really got along well together, and and Ryan and Michael B set that tone. They really did.
Yeah.
It was welcoming, and their collaboration, this being the 5th one, really, in speaking for everybody, felt like it was extended to all of us.
It was.
Yeah.
No question.
Thank you so much, and it really shows.
Thank you.
Hi, Brandon Collison, Media Popcorn Podcast. My question is for Mr. O'Connell. Without spoiling too much, what research or preparation did you do for the role Remick prior to filming? And that includes any relevant dance training.
I got kind of lucky there because when I was like 4 years old, my dad, who was out with Kerry in Ireland, he took me to Irish dancing lessons.
Oh, check you out.
As a whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Young four till about 8, and I was like one of 3 boys in a class full of girls.
Oh, wow.
I was thinking, Dad, why are we here? Why are we here, Dad?
Why are you punishing me?
What's this all about? And it was great, man. Listen, we went to tournaments and things, and it was brilliant. It was like,
Tournaments?
Oh yeah. Jumping Jack, they used to call me.
Stop it.
Jumping Jack.
How about that?
You have medals.
I've got medals and shit.
Do you really?
Oh my God, are you hearing this?
Yeah, I am hearing this. God bless you. That's part of his background. Part of his history.
Jumping Jack, that's your
Jumping
new...
Jumping
Thank you for
Jack.
sharing that,
Yeah.
Mr. O'Connell. Great job. That's everybody.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And then the music as well. Like I was reared on that traditional Irish music, and Ryan Coogler was. This is the real stuff. Not like the pop mainstream, the Cause, who were great. Don't get me wrong. For example, but yeah, the Dubliners, Luke Kelly. That's their heritage, and that's the education there. So it was great. I could not believe that it featured in this. Film. The first time I read it, I had to read them pages multiple times before I could believe it. Yeah. So I was honoured. It was a massive thrill.
So thank you so much, everybody.
I actually have a question for Miss Lee. Your character is so powerful from the minute she comes on screen, because they're actively seeking her out for not just her talent, but just how you present that particular moment of the haggling back and forth on price. And then when you are in action at the juke joint. I'm curious to learn more about your inspiration for that character and what led you to go with that tone and that approach.
Well, a lot of prep came from a documentary made by a filmmaker named Dolly Lee about the Mississippi Delta Chinese American community, and it was a community that I wasn't very aware of, but they were essential in the 1930s during a very segregated period, and they kind of acted as a medium, a more or less a bridge between when people were wildly segregated and were not able to even buy the most basic needs such as groceries. And the Chinese community were the ones who started opening up grocery stores for both the Black and white communities separately.
I didn't know that. It's really...
And when people couldn't afford their food, they accepted credit so that everyone can still eat. And
Wow.
yeah.
Who knew? I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, and what was interesting was, even though there was a quote by Frida Kwan, who was one of the inspirations for Grace. Is she said, and we all stayed in our lanes, because if you crossed over, it's not a good thing if we crossed over, but everything was fine as long as we stayed in our lanes. But they were deeply embedded in the culture. If you closed your eyes and you listened to any of them who looked like me, but spoke with such a thick accent, you would never have imagined them to look like the way they do. And they still speak about just how special and unique that group of people are especially when they travel, and how much they surprise people with the way they sound. But their mission was to raise their kids and help their kids get out of that world. And so that population has dwindled over the last decades, since the 1930s. But going back to, what makes Grace so strong, I think that's just really all on Ryan. He wrote this incredible character who is faced with these dilemmas of, does she save her daughter? She has nothing but just pure maternal primal instinct to save her daughter at any cost, even at everyone else's lives. Sorry, everyone.
Sense.
Thank you so much and wonderful job.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah. What's the name of that documentary?
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me. And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.